It's not just the jobs report that's creating this optimism right now. It's not just tax reform. It's also that the president has accepted an invitation, this is historic, everyone, to meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong Un. No sitting U.S. president has ever met with the North Koreans. President Clinton went and saw him after he was president, but no actual president has done this. This is a big deal. The president tweeting, Kim Jong Un, oh, he didn't call him Little Rocket Man this time, see? Talked about denuclearization with the South Korean representatives, not just a freeze. Also, no missile testing by North Korea during this period of time. Great progress being made, but sanctions, this is critical, will remain until an agreement is reached. Meeting being planned, exclamation point. The key part there, sanctions will remain in place because we cannot, we will not, we should not trust North Korea. But there may still be an opening. There may be a path. And hey, could this president actually denuclearize North Korea? Joining me right now, North Korea expert and the author of Nuclear Showdown, Gordon Chang. Wow. I mean, so I was in for my friend Lou last night, and it was pretty fascinating because the news was coming at a very rapid clip, an incredible pace, and we learned that the president, live on air, had accepted that invitation. How revolutionary is that to you?
Well, this has never happened before because, as you point out, no sitting American president has ever met a Kim leader. And when we look at this actually opens up the path to a peaceful disarmament of North Korea. You know, President Trump's sanctions, UN sanctions, are really starting to bite. And we know this because Office Number 39, which is the Kim family slush fund, is running out of cash, according to the Chinese. Also, some people are saying that North Korea's foreign exchange reserves are going to run out in October. Kim Jong Un needed to come to terms with the international community. And that's because I think that there has been in Pyongyang a realization that there's going to be never a better time to do a deal with Trump than now.
Well, they may not survive, right? I mean, the people themselves may not survive. Maybe he'll still find a way to plug along. But, I mean, if you decimate an economy, I would think at some point that would create a regime change, right? Because the people are going to say, no, this we can't exist like this.
Yeah, you got to remember that Kim Jong Un has built legitimacy on nuclear weapons, possessing them. He had, in 2013, written the possession of nukes into the North Korean constitution. He has made this from his propaganda, his Byung-jung line, which is strong arsenal, strong economy. Now, if he is really serious about giving up his weapons, he can't go back to the North Korean people and say, you've sacrificed all these years.
Spin it?
I don't know that there's a way to spin it. The South Koreans have said that Kim Jong Un has committed himself to a path of denuclearization. If the South Koreans are telling the truth, I think Kim Jong Un is now in a position where he cannot go back to the people with this agreement. And that's why we have heard no propaganda inside North Korea about this.
I was curious about that. I mean, how are they? Is there any spin at all, or there's no talk of the meeting period?
There's no talk of this, and you can understand why, because it's very difficult to explain this to the North Korean people. We also got to remember there was very little talk about the Olympics inside North Korea, and this is just a hermetically sealed regime where they're afraid of talking about most things.
My goodness, do you think it's possible that they would give up their weapons?
They certainly don't want to, but on the other hand, if Kim doesn't have money, he can't launch missiles, he can't detonate nukes, he can't engage in gift politics, which is the buying of Mercedes and Rolexes, giving them to senior regime elements to buy loyalty. This is what the Kim family has done for decades. If you don't have money to do it, a lot of these senior people in Pyongyang are going to head to the exits, especially if they think the regime is not going to survive for one reason or another.
Wow. All right. Well, this is fascinating. Really incredible and historic stuff. Gordon Chang, thank you.